The Washington Capitals won their Stanley Cup back in 2018, and ever since then, it's been a slow descent towards mediocrity. With a new coach behind the bench and Alex Ovechkin still chasing the Great Ones record, there's hope in DC that there still could be another deep run in this team's belt. Capitals fans may be blindly optimistic, and I am one of them. Fuck you all, here's why I love this stupid fucking team.
The ones I do are stallions, each one more magnificent than the last.
First and foremost, we got the GOAT, Alex Ovechkin. This guy's going to end up being one of the 3 or 4 best players of all time the second he passes Wayne Gretzky in about 2 seasons. Sorry, Crosby sniffers, it's true. Ovi has carried this fucking franchise for 2 decades, and he's about to eclipse the fucking Great One. He's already probably the greatest goal scorer in history adjusted for era. He might be able to score 1,000 goals. He's that fucking good. He's physical, he's passionate, he is the best, and he's done it with basically no support for his entire career. He's joined on that top line by Evgeny Kuznetsov, who I'm actually kind of glad they didn't trade during the offseason because that dude was clearly going to be the latest good player disaffected and shipped off by Peter Laviolette. Tom Wilson, aka future Caps captain, just signed a big extension over the summer and will also be playing on the top line with Ovi and Kuzi. A lot of analytics nerds criticize the extension, but you have to remember how much money he saves the team in overhead costs by living rent-fucking-free in the heads of the Hurricanes, Penguins, and Rangers organizations. On the second line, we picked up Dylan Strome from the shelter last year and cleaned him up, and now he's finally realizing his potential. He's centering a re-energized Anthony Mantha and American hero TJ Oshie. Friendly reminder that if you don't like the Caps, you're basically a terrorist. Nick Backstrom will actually be playing on the third line, finally healthy for the first time since the Cup run. That's right, you were taking on Thanos without the last Infinity Stone. He will center 2 more reclamation projects who will go on to have career years this year, Max Pacioretty and Sonny Milano. The fourth line will include Alexi Protas, no longer steepled to the bench by lobby, human golden retriever Nick Dowd, and rising local grinder Joe Snively. On the back end, this team is sneaky good. John Carlson, when healthy, is still a legit #1 defenseman. Martin Feravari is finally going to get the chance to play meaningful minutes. Rasmus Sandin was a great addition at the deadline last year who should fit into the top 4 very nicely. The big problem the Caps have is that while their roster is quite old, their D is quite young and they don't yet have an established second pairing guy now that Orlov is gone. Nick Jensen and TVR kind of fill that spot, but I think having them in the third pairing fits a little bit better. Hopefully players like Alex Alexiev and Lucas Johansson can take the next step and earn a bigger role this year. This team has finally been freed from the shackle that was Peter Laviolette, replaced by first-time head coach Spencer Carberry. Pictured here, outwitting Superman yet again, Carberry may be young, but he has all the qualifications you'd want from a first-time NHL head coach. Successful head coach at the AHL level? Check. Assistant under a good NHL coach? Check again. I look forward to Carberry showing Toronto that they once again screwed the pooch by keeping Keith and letting him go. At the very least, he's going to remove the atrocious slingshot setup on the power play and allow Alexi Protas and Connor McMichael off the bench, so that's going to be a massive win.
New guys! Alright.
As they do every year, the Caps went out dumpster diving and came up with some players who will end up being way better just by breathing the same air as Ovi. This year, it's going to be Max Pacioretty, who's guaranteed to have like 40 goals just by being on the power play. Joel Edmondson also heads to DC as part of a trade where the Caps got a sweet 50% discount. Pleasure doing business with that Habs, now watch him become a solid third pairing defenseman.
If you're saying I play favorites, you're wrong. I love all my children equally. I don't care for Joe.
Okay, I'll admit it, I'm not entirely thrilled that Anthony Mantha is still here. Boy, that trade is looking like an absolute pile of dookie from the moment it was executed, and in the years since, he's basically produced nothing. The hope is that energy vampire Peter Laviolette isn't going to be holding him back and he'll become a 25-goal scorer again. But honestly, I would rather give that spot to McMichael or LaPierre or Miroshchenko. What are the other young guns waiting in the wings?
I am inevitable.
Up to you, they're winning the Stanley Cup. Ovi's hitting 900 goals. Suck it, nerds.